The Cold Steel AK47, when you absolutely positively have to cut every last thing in the room, except no substitutes. Cold Steel AK47. This is the standard size model. This is not the mini. They do have a smaller version, which is a 2 3/4 or 2.5 inch blade. This is a 3.5, 3 1/4, somewhere around there. Pretty good, nice overall everyday carry size. I mean, this is a workhorse knife. This is not really meant to be a pretty knife. This is not necessarily something you get out to show off. It's just a very basic, functional knife. Works good for, again, everyday tasks and as a defensive knife. Grip, just very solid. Got a nice cutout here, got our finger grooves and everything in here. And I have average size hands, so this just fits me to a T. This part I'm not crazy about. This is supposed to be a part of the defensive application of this pommel, as they call it, for you bashing people's heads in. I guess you could use this for breaking a windshield or something, or window on a car. That imaginary scenario where they always think that you run across so many cars that are drowning in a river. I guess if that's a common problem for you. Plain edge, there is no serrated one option available, at least not at this time. And the wonderful Cold Steel Triad lock, which is in some cases kind of overkill. In a case of a knife like this size, I don't think it's necessary. So you can see I've got a couple chips out of that. That's from trying to work this in. It is stiffer than hell. This thing here, part of the problem is because they didn't really make these cutouts really deep enough, as like they did with some of their other ones, where you can push this in to fully disengage the lockback mechanism, because you have to fully depress this to disengage it. So there's unlocking. Because if you don't, right there, doesn't unlock. You have to go, and you have to use not the tip of your thumb, but the side joint to really get it in there. So. But that's just a common thing with the Cold Steel Triad lock. All the lockbacks that they have are like that. It has this thumb plate, as they call it, which you can use it to flick open. It's kind of hard because you have all this spring tension to overcome, but it takes some finesse, which obviously I don't have. You do it left-handed? Yeah, look, see, I can do it left-handed. I'm not even a lefty. But it does have a thumb stud. But the primary of this, it's more like the Emerson Wave opener, where you snag this on the edge of your pocket right here, and it deploys. Kind of like, well, again, the Emerson. Here's a prime example. Spyderco Endura 4 with the patented Emerson. As you can see up close here, it specifically says Emerson patent. They have to pay extra, and so do you when you buy this. This, Cold Steel, and some of the others, same concept, just different execution, so no patent infringement. But anyways, G10 scales, very durable, very tough, kind of heavy, and way grippy for what it is. I've had to sand it, you can't really tell, probably, maybe you can. Right here under the clip, I had to sand with some 220 grit sandpaper, smooth that out to make it easier to get in and out of the pocket. And I also, as you can see, had to bend the pocket clip up just a little bit because it grips too well. Cold Steel in general is kind of like the Ruger and Sturm of knife makers. They over-engineer the hell out of everything. They build their stuff like tanks. I mean, listen to the way this thing locks up. Loud. Solid. I mean, you know it's locked. This thing is like a friggin' fixed blade. When it's locked open, there it is. It's locked. You cannot, I mean, they've got guys hanging hundreds of pounds off of these things and they're not breaking and giving. So but really, realistically, you're not likely to be, exerting hundreds of pounds of force in this in just everyday usage, picking your toenails or opening envelopes and boxes and whatnot. Even in a defensive situation, if you go to use this in a fight, you're not going to be putting that much force on it. I mean, yeah, you might be some, but anyways. Now, as far as everyday carry, I've been carrying this around for a couple weeks now, and it's pretty nice. I like it. The only real gripes I have about it is it's kind of wide this way. The thickness, it's not bad at all. This is pretty thin, actually. The weight, it's a little heavier than some, but it's not bad. But this is the part that kind of bugs me, because when you have this in your pocket, you go to reach in there, unless this is dedicated, this is all you have in your pocket, trying to reach your hand in there for anything else, and it's kind of in the way. I mean, this still, you can kind of get past it because it is pretty thin, but it's And then also this bit sticking up above the pocket. I'm not worried about the concealability aspect of it because it's not that much sticking up, but this thing here, again, I'm not keen on this. Half the time I'll drag my hand by and it kind of, it's not sharp, but it's uncomfortable. It's like, ow, you know, it's you don't even think about sometimes you'll just be swinging around, you'll have your hand or something bang into it, kind of hurts. So, I could do without this. If they just made it like that, that would have been great. That would have been perfect. Who else does that? Spyderco. See? They could have just done that and not done this little pointy thing. That would have been great. But whatever. But at least they didn't go this far into it. Set it far all the way down flush with it. But whatever. That's just preference. So again, Cold Steel AK47. Nice, good overall size. Very durable. AUS 8A steel. Sharper than snot. This was actually sharper than the Spyderco Endura. This is VG10, and this will barely shave hair out of the box. This one absolutely will shave hair. I mean, I can probably demonstrate this here on camera. Right there. Make a nice bald spot on my arm there. Yeah, it'll take the hair right off. This one, it's not quite as, it's almost not even doing it now. I haven't even really hardly used it too heavily. So neither of these, I've never had to resharpen these yet. And of course I don't use them for any heavy duty cutting, but never had to resharpen it yet. A couple tips as far as breaking these things in, because you do have to break this in. Leave it like this, about halfway open or right there. Leave it about halfway open where that lock is fully depressed in. Because when you first get this, I practically couldn't even close this thing. It was so stiff, you know. So leave it like this for a couple days, or just whenever you're not using it, just set it on the dresser or something like that, and just leave it like that. That kind of helps it take a set. The other thing is pushing this repeatedly. That's where I got those little chips there out of the paint, which this is some cheap, I think it's a Teflon paint or something. I put this on the corner of a countertop, and I was just pushing it a couple hundred times just while I was watching TV, had nothing to do. But pushing that helps break in the spring, because repeated compression and release of that spring helps soften it. Now it's where it's not a big deal. I can actually open and close this one-handed, which is kind of a challenge before, damn near impossible. Just kind of shake it and then you can close it. So being able to do things one-handed is very important for me on everyday carry knives. So that's pretty much all there is really to say about it. The AK47, great knife. Price, I got this for, I believe, at $65, which was right about on par with this one, and this was with the Emerson option of $69. But really good materials, excellent build quality. There is no blade play whatsoever, up or down, side to side. I mean, it's a beast of a blade. It is a just tank-like, built like an AK-47, hence the name. So for the money, $65, great build, great steel quality. I mean, I know people gripe about it, AUS 8. Oh, it's not the best. Whatever. This works great for an everyday carry. If you have any problems with rust, just wipe it down with some oil and it's good. I've never had any problems with it. I mean, not just this knife, but any others with AUS 8. Never had any rust problems. So, anyways, there it is for what it's worth. That's my 2 cents on that. Thanks for watching.